That was a basic version of Blackberry Blossom. The first time through each section, I played a really simple stripped down version of this tune, and that's what I'll be teaching you. The second time through each section, I added in some licks. We'll talk about some of those later also. This one is a great one to learn. It is the outline of what is usually a very complex melody. So I think it's important for players of all skill levels to get a really simple version of complex tunes in their head and under their hands, so they can have a nice blank slate and a nice launching pad for more complex versions and embellishments, and it gives you a safety net for when you're playing at faster speeds. So this simple version will also be great for beginners. It's a bit more accessible, and if you use the difficulty slider in Tunefox, that will dial out some of the notes where we're playing upstrokes. It will make it even easier. And again, it's just a little bit more bare bones that way. It's not bad. It's a good thing to know simple and stripped down and be able to execute that well before you try some really tough arrangements of this tune. The G major scale is used heavily in this song, especially in the A section. So I want to strongly suggest that you learn, memorize, and practice the G major scale. We've got some workouts and exercises that you can check out in Tunefox. I'm going to go through some of the key measures in this. There's so much that repeats, which is really common in fiddle tunes, and it's even maybe a bit more repetitive here, and that's done on purpose so it can be accessible for you all, so it's a little bit easier to learn, easier to get going, and then once you have this basic version down, you can check out some of the licks and add in some more variations. So in measure 1, we're basically just going from a G note to an F sharp note, which is the 3rd fret of the D string. And what we'll do for each of those notes is play a bum ditty pattern. We're going to go down, down, up on each of those, okay? That's measure 1. Not too bad, right? The big thing here is just have your fret hand finger curled and above the fingerboard while you're playing that open G. So it's ready to go right after you play that G note. And if you want to clean it up, you can mute this G string after you play it by gently resting another finger on top of it. That way it kind of separates the notes. Measure 2 finishes out this first phrase. We're going 2 E notes to a D note, so 2nd fret twice, and then a long D note. Those are all downstrokes. Altogether, the first phrase sounds like this. Okay, I'll play that a couple of times so you start to understand the timing. Alright, I'll do a playthrough later where I will go through the whole tune very slowly and then once at kind of a medium speed. Alright, measures 3 and 4. This is the second phrase. We're going to use the same kind of timing. Bum, diddy, bum, diddy, bum, dit, bum. We're just going on some different notes. So we're going to go from a C, 3rd fret of the A string, using my middle finger here, to a B, 2nd fret of the A string, open A, then D. Again, I'm doing 2 measures here. So we've got the 2 bum ditties on the C and B note, and then we've got bum, dit, bum, 2 downs on the A, 1 down on the D. I'll play that phrase a few times. Alright, measures 5 and 6 are the same as 1 and 2. So Make sure you just practice measures 1 and 2 well, and we won't have to worry about practicing measures 5 and 6 until we're trying to put all of this together. Measure 7 is the same as measure 3. So again, we've got some repetition here. This is why it's important for you to practice some of these parts that show up a lot in the song repetitively. And in Tunefox, you can use the focus feature to loop individual measures or multiple measures. Okay, so you can hear it repeatedly, just like you're playing along with me. Or you can practice it repeatedly, and you can also control your speed that you listen or that you practice along with. All right, so measure 8 is just a little bit different than measure 4. Instead of going A, D, we're gonna go A, G, and then that kind of finishes out the phrase. It's finally going back to that home note, that G note, the root of the key that we're playing in. So I'm gonna play the last phrase just so you can hear that, because it's a little bit different than the second, but using kind of the same notes and same timing. Right, resolving back to that G note. All right, in the B part, we're going to the relative of G major. It's E minor. It shares a lot of the same notes. So it's going to start on this open E note, and I'm going to think out of this E minor chord position and actually leave my fingers here throughout this whole thing. A lot of the times when soloing or playing songs, it's really good if you can think out of chord positions and relate scales to chord positions. It helps build your awareness, and a lot of the times will help get your fingers prepared for whatever notes might be upcoming, and it's definitely the case here. So we've got open E, and then we've got this E that's on the D string 2nd fret, and then we're going to open D, and then back to that E note that's on the 2nd fret of the D string. So that measure happens a lot in the B section, 5 times actually, and it's just all downstrokes. Okay, I'm gonna play that a few times so you hear the timing. So that happens 3 times at the start of the B section, and then we do the same kind of jump going from this B note that's on the 2nd fret of the A string to the open B, and then we're going to put the middle finger on the 2nd fret of the G string, play that, that's an A note, and then bounce back to that open B. So that one, right, same kind of sound, same timing, but we're doing this big jump on a B note here. So B, B, A, B. I'll play it a few times so you hear the timing. Quick music theory note. Anytime you go from a low E note to a higher E note, or a low B note to a higher B note, or vice versa, a high B note to a lower B note, whatever. Anytime you're making that jump between the same note and it's in different pitch levels, that's called an octave. Okay, so we're making an octave jump a lot here in the B section of Blackberry Blossom. On the second half of the B part, we're going to do this octave jump on the E twice. And then for the last phrase, we're finishing it out exactly the same as the A section. So practice those important pieces in Tunefox. Use that focus feature after you can play these important measures and groups of measures multiple times cleanly, like 3 or 4 times in a row. Then start trying to play the entire section or even the entire song. All right, I'm going to play through the A section one time super slow, and I'll do the same with the B section, and then I'll play through the whole tune in the normal form where you go through the A section twice and the B section twice. I'll have the metronome going at 60 beats per minute. So the first time, it's basically going to be clicking basically 4 times a measure, okay? And then the next time it'll just be clicking twice a measure. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. B section, here we go. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. All right, now I'm going to play it kind of at still a slow speed, but not a practice speed. This is after you've been playing it for a while, right? 1, 2, 1, 2. Repeat the A part. So there was this simple version of Blackberry Blossom twice through. Some of the things I did in that playthrough to add a little bit more personality and to just clean things up. In the A section, when you play this A, D, and then the G note is next, if all those notes are ringing at the same time, it gets kind of messy. So what I would do sometimes is mute some of those open strings by just gently resting my fret hand on the strings and stopping them from ringing. That's called string dampening. We can do it either by laying a hand down on an open ringing string or by releasing pressure with our fret hand, but still letting the finger remain in contact with the strings. Something that I did in the B part, or going into the B part, kind of slid out of that note, and that's like taking us from our G and sliding into that relative minor where we're playing over the E minor chord. And as you can see, I kind of took my time with the slide. I didn't go quick. Okay. Another thing I did, that string dampening I talked about earlier, right? I did it whenever I played this E note that's on the D string. Right after I played the note, I'm letting that middle finger off, or releasing the pressure on that middle finger. I'm not letting it off the string, right? Because I want to keep it in contact with the string so that this finger stops the string from ringing open. If I just lift that finger off, right, then because I've already set that string in motion when the string was fretted, if I let off quickly, it's just going to make that open string sound, and it'll keep ringing. So we want to let off pressure, but leave the finger in contact. And that just adds a cool little bit of personality and a little bit of rhythmic variation in the way you articulate, the way you play that note. Again, I want to encourage you all to work on your G major scales, also G major pentatonic. And you can also, if you really know this scale, where all the notes that are in what we call first position or second position, just in this area of the fretboard, if you take those same notes and instead of starting on G and ending up on G, if we start on an E and move towards another E, then we'll be playing in the relative minor, E minor. Again, practicing scales helps you build your dexterity, coordination, and will help you make some really good hand-to-ear connections that will help you when learning new tunes or whenever you start trying to get creative and improvising or making up your own variations. So a lot of people play this tune with really complex scale patterns and arpeggios and scale runs. Okay, it sounds cool, it's really great. What we're doing in this version is a stripped down version of that. It's just outlining those scale runs. Right? So this crazy version that you're seeing here, it's dancing around these core scale notes. So again, learning this basic version is kind of laying some groundwork for you, so you'll know those big important scale notes that are being danced around. And again, it gives beginners something easy and accessible they can get jamming with sooner, so they don't have to wait to learn this complex version after years of practice. And it gives intermediate and advanced players something simple that they can play at a lot faster speeds, because it takes a while to be able to play that cleanly. I mean, even right there, that was a little bit sloppy, but point is, you know, why delay the joy of jamming? Get something simple going sooner, I think is a good approach. And especially simple is easier to play solidly, right, with great timing. And if you use that difficulty slider in Tunefox, it will make it even easier if you're a super beginner or you need something just super simple to fall back on at fast speeds. Right, it takes out all of those upstrokes, but it still sounds like Blackberry Blossom. All right, I started that off with some potatoes, so I played these two long notes and did this rhythm pattern here, bum diddy bum diddy bum diddy bum. And then launched into the tune. That's a common way to start these instrumental tunes. That rhythm pattern right there is called potatoes. Bum, bum, diddy bum, diddy bum, diddy bum. Then the tune. Okay, that's only played in a jam situation usually, and it's only played by the person who's kicking off the tune, who's starting it, the person who's playing lead first. It's not played thereafter. Another way that tunes are kicked off is by using some lead-in notes. So it's usually a group of 3 notes and just a simple 3-beat rhythm that leads in both in those beats, and the scale leads up to whatever the target note is, your first note in the song. So for example, we're starting on a G note, we take the 3 notes before that in the major scale, right, in the G major scale, and it leads right in. You can use other scales and take some other directional approaches, like coming in from higher up. There's not a lot of rules here, just that we've got a group of 3 notes, you know, and it leads right in, and we're taking some kind of scalar approach that's leading towards that target note, either from above or below. If you feel like you're having any problems with your pick hand, sometimes it can be good to play through this song and only play what's going on with the pick hand. It's not going to sound great, but it's going to allow you to really focus on the pick hand. For example, let's say you're just looking at the first measure. You know, the thing that makes this one tough, even without, you know, putting that fretted note down, is this string crossing here. So it's like right after I go down, down, up, I need to get that pick above the D string, ready to go, right? So I'm having to move it up a little bit more to get a set up above that D string than I would if I were just playing on the G string there, right? And so we'll call that pick hand preparation. So pick hand preparation is just as important as fret hand preparation, which I talked about earlier. The example I gave was playing the first note of the song and already having your fret hand fingers curled and above the fingerboard, so to be ready to go for that second note in the scale in the first measure. So some of the licks that you can check out in Tunefox, there's going to be some that show just rhythmic variations, just some basic variations. I think this is a good thing to explore. A lot of the times when getting into coming up with these variations for these instrumentals, it can be a bit overwhelming, and just keeping the same notes and slightly varying the rhythm, I think, is a good approach to start getting creative. So for example, instead of going bum diddy, we're basically going bum-a-dit, or diddy bum, right? So we've got the 2 shorter notes closer together at the start. Right? Nothing groundbreaking, but just showing you how you can change something in a simple way, get a different sound, and start exploring some different ways that you can approach this. It doesn't have to be the same way every time you play it. So check out those licks. There's some even more basic rhythm variations like that. Right, some of them are pretty cool. Another thing that's in there is thirds, and that's where instead of playing through a scale 1 note at a time, we kind of do these jumps where we're like leapfrogging over every other scale note. So right there, I jumped over this middle finger note in the scale. Right, so, but what we'll do in those licks is use some of these thirds, and those thirds, those jumps in the scale, will match up with the chord that's happening at that moment. There's also some pentatonic riffs. Pentatonic means 5. It's a 5-note scale. Usually our full major scales have 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we're back home. Pentatonic leaves out a few. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? Got a little bit of a different sound. That riff is used in a lot of popular music. And we can use it here in Tunefox. There's some really good ones used over the E minor. And if you've practiced your G major and G major pentatonic scales, that will be really good. You'll be able to understand what's happening and understand where these notes are being pulled from whenever you check out those licks. So again, learn and memorize your G major and your G major pentatonic scales. There's also some arpeggios. Arpeggio just means in the style of a harp. But a lot of the times we play those and we're going to be playing chord notes one by one. So instead of playing them all at the same time, it might be like, or it's a really cool way to approach coming up with variations for these tunes. And it's always going to sound good if we're basing those notes on the chords that are happening. And lots of times it ends up sounding very kind of elegant and classical, I think. So check out some of those arpeggio licks. All right, that's about it for this version of Blackberry Blossom. Make sure to explore those licks. Like I said, there's lots of variations to explore. And that's why we have this version of Blackberry Blossom starting off so simple, so that will give us a blank slate to get going playing this tune and start exploring some other ways we can interpret it. Some good next steps. You can try using the hide notes feature in Tunefox to test your memory for this tune, or even just as you begin to learn it. Especially if you've already kind of got some skills going on the guitar and maybe you can figure out a few things of some simple melodies. Using that hiding notes is a really good training wheels for your ear. You'll be able to see the strings that notes are on, but not the fret. So you'll have to do some trial and error. And again, knowing those G major scales will really help speed up that process of figuring those notes out. Another good next step is try not to look over at your guitar neck like that. Try to just look at the dots on the top of the neck and feel around with your hand to find where you are and find where these notes are. You know, at first you may kind of stumble through it. It may be kind of like you're going through a house in the dark, and that's okay. Reach and feel with your fingers and think about what you're feeling. Right now, I can feel my hand going on the bottom of the neck. I know I'm touching the first string because there's nothing else below that. Below that, there's just air, okay? Now I feel I'm touching the second string, all right? I'm gonna feel, go back. There's the nut, right? Now if I push down on that second string and slide it forward, up, there's the first fret. So it might take you a bit more time to find out where you're going, but you're going to be developing a absolutely crucial skill, which is your sense of touch and your sense of awareness of where your hands are. I think this is so crucial when you're learning guitar because your eyes can't really process everything that's going on at these fast speeds. We've got to use our sense of touch and our sense of hearing. Something else that would be good, start testing your speed. You know, that's why we got this simple version, is so it will be easier to play at faster speeds. So try to crank up that tempo with the whole song, or even just with a measure or a few measures at a time. And if you need to, use that difficulty slider. Make it really easy at the faster speeds, and then add in just a few upstrokes at a time. Just slowly ease that difficulty level up. You can even use the Tunefox tutor to kind of step that up difficulty-wise in increments. Lastly, check out the Bluegrass arrangement. It may be intimidating, but just take it a measure at a time. Use all the Tunefox tools like your focus feature, difficulty slider, and just go a note at a time. You know, you don't have to play in time when you're first learning a new tune. You don't. Timing, it's the most important for making music, but when learning music, we just want to play the right notes in the right order at first, right? So you play your G note, you play your B note as you learn it in that other version, right? Just going one note at a time, putting the finger down, making sure you've got it in the right place, then playing the note, right? Going slow enough you can control the amount of mistakes that you're making and try to reduce those, because we want to practice things the right way, really slowly and accurately. We don't want to go really fast and just be really sloppy and practice mistakes, because that's going to lead to more of those. All right, a lot of talking there in the second half, but maybe some good advice, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope this helped. Keep picking and stay tuned.